Hey, sir, how are you?
I'm I'm super cool. Yeah,
Awesome.
so we have I wanted to talk to you about your Inglewood years, Inglewood High in particular, because I identify you as like Miss School Spirit somehow, like you are it. Like Ava is, you know, if you're excited about going to Inglewood in that era, you helped with that excitement. Is that a safe estimation? Is that how you viewed yourself, or how did you view yourself, and how was your experience at Inglewood High?
I love the way you stated that. I wear that hat proudly. I still am like Inglewood High, everything. You can ask my kids. Like, it was a big deal for me. I actually loved school.
Wow.
I was not a scholar. If you had to get a 2 point, I probably had a one.
Hold on one second. How you gonna love school and not be a scholar? Okay, go ahead. You could.
I'm serious. I loved going to school.
Okay.
I think everything else about it. I did what I had to do to get by.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this, two things that I do different with my children is when you go to college, when you finish college. My parents said when you finish high school. And so now as an adult, I know that I stopped there because that's all I heard. And then I know they stopped there because that's all they heard. I had no desire to go to college. I did it because one day he said, what's the plan? School or work? And I went to trade tech and found out. It was that. But I loved school. I loved my friends. I loved football games, basketball games. I cheered. I played sports. I really just had a great experience.
Wow.
And it was fun to go to school back then. It was. I just feel like kids just don't have what we had back then,
So what are you speaking about? In what ways?
I think that for me, because I still have in my son's lab, you still have friends from Centinela, they say. I still have friends from Centinela. My friends are from Centinela, Crozier, and Englewood. Of course, I've gained friends since then, but the experiences and the stories and the memories that I have with those people, I'll never be able to, I can't share that with anybody else but them. But it was just a fun experience. It was just a pleasant experience. Like, I say my friends and I ran Englewood.
Oh, okay.
Sharice, seriously.
Okay.
Sharice was the president of the class. Sharice was the president of the school. So all grades, like the whole school. I want to say Robin might have been like the president of the class or something like that. My other homegirl, Shauna, she had a seat. So it was like, we were like the Democratic Party when Obama was in office. Everybody right. did something. So one homegirl put the yearbook together. So who was all through the yearbook? Ava, Shauna, Cherise, Robin. And of course, there's a little bit of everybody else sprinkled in there too, but we did the yearbook. I was the commissioner of rallies and assemblies. And I think, like you said about me having a class spirit, it fit me perfectly because I was able to run the assembly or the rally. And of course, we're restricted. They wasn't going to let us get too crazy. But I think I was fun and live and comedic. And it was just fun for me that I was able to do that. This was, of course, in our senior year. But even in my freshman year, I remember leaving Crozier and wanting to be a cheerleader and meeting seniors that kind of took me under their wing from class of 89 that I'm not necessarily good friends with. And of course, Facebook helps you stay connected to people, but everybody was always kind and wanted to pass the torch in a good way. And they did. So it left a good taste in my mouth. And I was like, this is cool because you look up to the seniors. And I'm like, look at them. They cheering and they dancing and they having fun.
No, class of 89 was like the flyest year.
But I was just going to say, I can't say that too proudly because Squeak is class of 89. So we go back and forth in our household because I'm 92 all day. And he's like, nothing finer than the 89.
I would have to agree with him. That was a fly year.
But '89. So imagine coming in as a freshman and '89 was your senior class.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that laid the foundation too, because they were so lively and they were so fly and they were so fun. I just always think about that basketball team, Harold Miner and Tommy Holland and I can't remember Johnny's last name, but that alone, you know, that pandemonium with being in school with Harold.
I actually remember, wasn't that Soup Bone and Herman's year too? You don't remember Soup Bone? They was class clowns.
I do remember Soup Bone. So if I remember him, it had to be that he was class of '89.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember Soup Bone.
And do you remember them cats walking around with, like, they was dressed like guy, like R&B, like they had suits and briefcases. There was some fly shit going on. I hate to be the one to tell
and the
people.
Chains, the link chains. They call them Gucci links and Turkish links. It was a few different types. I do remember that. I don't remember the briefcase now. I gotta find some pictures now.
Yeah,
I gotta see this.
It was a tall, darker hued cat and a light skinned dude. They was player partners, and they was just dressed way too fresh for high school. It's like, what is going on?
That's funny.
Yeah, I'll find out their names eventually, but that was hilarious.
That's funny. So that was it for me. I really enjoyed going to school. I did. I had like a great experience, like just teachers and
what are
so
some
my
of
dad,
your favorite teachers?
Miss Boykins, hands down.
Wow.
She was my favorite teacher. The things that I remember, I don't remember much, but the things I remember came from her class. And so I had to share this funny story with you. Oh God. So we had a writing assignment one Friday. We had an assignment because we were off on a Monday, and she said when we came back she wanted all of us to write about our weekend. So there's like 8 or 9 of us that decided to write a story that was false, and we basically lied and made it seem like we went to the Bowen Theater and got into a big brawl, and Miss Boykin was a little timid. She was nervous. She was looking around. So we came and read this story, and now she looking like she got to report this to the authorities. I don't even remember. It was just way crazy, something we shouldn't have done. I remember her calling my dad, and my dad comes sitting in the class, because my dad is like, what's wrong with y'all? But, you know, my dad was cool.
Oh, super cool.
It was like a joke to him, but she was like, you know, Mr. Burnett, I can't believe Ava. J5 Posse. That's what it was. We said we called ourselves the J5 Posse, and it was guys and girls. We told her we went to the movies, and we had a fight with this other school. We lied. We didn't have no fight with no other school. Why would we do this breaking like that? So she was nervous, but she was an English teacher. And so she taught a lot. The things that I remember the most came from her. Wow. She was one of my favorites. Mr. Searles, I remember him because, like cool. I said, I didn't want to be at school. And I remember I struggled with math, and he was a jazz connoisseur. And if you could come back and have a conversation with him about jazz, that 45 minutes went so fast.
That's right.
And so I was a great distractor. I learned. I learned how to get him.
Things you taking pride in. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you know, I used to scam with the best of them. You know, I'm talking about these jive turkeys. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I was, but Mr. Searles and I, to this day, still have a relationship.
Wow.
Great guy.
I heard he's like head of something or something like.
He is. He was a principal at Morningside, and then now he is basically, or he was the supervisor for all the principals throughout the Englewood Unified School District. But now here lately, I want to say it has something to do with children that may be getting like in trouble. It has a different twist to it now, but my sister and I are really active. My niece and nephew, my nephew's at Englewood, and my niece, that's a different podcast. She is going to school through Inglewood Unified School District, but she's not at school. And my sons go to Bennett Q. But we're actively involved with the school district and the school. And that was my other thing. I saw my dad do it, so it helped him. But I know that it makes a difference when I'm involved with my kids' school. And Mr. Searles still calls us. And there's like some big conference coming up next year that he's already put my sister and I on the list for. He wanted us to go represent Englewood School District as parents. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. But I try to stay as involved as I can. It's hard because I wish that if I didn't work, I'd be so much more involved. But, you know, it's hard to do stuff after 5 or, you know, take a half a day. So I do what I can, but I think it's more than a lot. Hello, parents, if you're listening, get involved with your children in school.
That's right.
That was a public service announcement.
I noticed.
My own commercial.
I see. Yeah, this is really your episode, apparently. So what are some of the teachers that you hated? You mentioned a couple that you loved. Who did you hate?
I didn't hate any.
Wow.
I didn't hate any.
Is hate too strong a word?
I think hate is too strong of a word, sir.
Okay, so who did you not like?
I guess you know who was tough? Mr. Mackey was tough.
Yeah.
I had a monkey bite, and he told on me. It was none of his business.
Not the monkey bite.
Hey, those teachers was caught. Now that I'm thinking about it, they snitched a lot at Englewood. Ms. Boykin called my pops. Mr. Mackey called home. Mr. Mackey, but
isn't that their job to like keep the parents informed?
It was. But some of that stuff maybe I didn't want them to know, but I told them.
Oh my gosh. Hey, wasn't Mr. Freeman there?
Let me tell you.
I'm sorry.
No. We going back.
Right.
You know who's my favorite teacher? Mr. Landers.
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
So Mr. Landers taught math, and he wore a 3-piece suit every day.
Wow.
And he spent 40 minutes of the 45 minutes trying to get students into his class. So he was a joke. He was one of the ones that would let you go to the bathroom for 40 minutes.
Oh, my God.
Or, you know, I think I remember having him, and I remember people being in the classroom who didn't even belong in there. He didn't know.
Wow.
He didn't know what was going on. But he probably was like 10 years over his retirement age.
Oh, I see.
You know.
Yeah.
He was just collecting a check, but Mr. Landers. But I got really close to Miss Tate. Miss Tate and I like babysat for her when I was a senior. Miss Tate is the principal now.
Wasn't she wearing like tights or leotards or something? Like real
Excuse
80s?
Me? She was supposed to. She was the dance teacher.
Oh, I'm just trying to remember who this woman was. And I kind of remember like big glasses, big hair, and like a Madonna.
Exactly. She was like
outfit.
Fame, but 1992. I love Miss Tate, but she was the dance teacher, dance instructor, but she was over the like student council. So my friends and I dealt with her a lot. So if there was a fundraiser, we ran it by her, put it together.
Nice.
If there was an event, we ran it by her, and she was real lenient, you know. But of course, with reservation, she kind of let us do our thing, and still have a relationship with Miss Tate to this day. Yeah, and I'll tell you who I didn't like, because I called her a bitch. And she told on me too. Yeah,
I could imagine. Yeah,
Miss Urbeck, the PE teacher. That was it. It pissed me off, and I called her out of her name, and she called my dad and all the extra stuff.
Extra.
I'm tired of this. All this extra stuff.
How is it extra? Because they try to teach you something.
Exactly. They want me to be an upstanding citizen, right? But
so you mentioned you was a part of the yearbook committee, Pep Squad. Wasn't you part of the Pep Squad or one of those squads?
I was on cheer, freshman sophomore and junior year. And then I thought I was too cool my senior year. I'm not doing none of that. I did half a day. And I think, I was able to, I told you I didn't want to go to school, but I loved going to school, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But I did most of that stuff through my junior year. I don't have time. We don't have enough time to talk about my basketball career, so I don't even want to go there right now. Let me tell you this. I wish that I had seen what WNBA would have been back then. Sharice, point guard, awesome. She could have been in the WNBA. She was awesome.
Wow.
Robin was good. She was tall, so that helped. But and Shanora is younger than us. They could ball. I could not. I was tall, and I stood there and put my hands up. That was probably the most they got out of me. I think I had 4 my whole 4 years. Shut up. That's nobody's business, okay? But I was out there, okay? It was about
this
the
is
sportsmanship.
True. And participation. This is true.
Thank you. Mr. Blaylark, rest in peace, head coach. Yep.
So, I heard some Crozier history about you, and I was wondering if this was true.
Let me hear it.
Were you a part of a crew in your 7th grade year called the Hustlerettes?
Wow.
I'm just trying to get this history out of you. I don't know if it's true or what's happening with it, but
you was digging in the crate. You know what? You got too much information. I don't know. I remember that. Yes.
Wow.
Why did we call ourselves that? The Hustlerettes. What were we?
Was it
hustling?
associated with the Big Time Hustlers? Is part of the story I heard that y'all was like the female equivalent in some way.
I remember. Okay, see, you had to remind me because I was like, where did that come from? Yep, I do remember that. I do, yeah. I was a cool nerd now that I think about it. Oh. I wasn't a nerd. Those glasses. Remember my notorious glasses?
I definitely remember those glasses, yes.
I think that people saw the glass and they're like, she was a nerd and I was a hustler this whole time. Y'all just didn't know. Oh, God.
So what did the Hustlerettes evolve to? Because I know you kept that friend circle through high school. Did it not turn into something else? Okay,
so Sharice is the only person that my connection from Crozier to Englewood stayed, the same. I had a different circle in junior high than I did in high school, but still remained good friends with everybody. Mm-hmm. And I think that was one of that I hear a lot of females say, I don't have a lot of friends. Mm-hmm. I am the complete opposite of that. Wow. I have a lot of girlfriends, but I have true girlfriends, and I just have, I didn't have a lot of bad experiences with women. So when women say that, it makes my skin crawl, but everybody has their own experiences. I can't take that from anybody, but I have a lot of friends from junior high school, elementary, high school, then after. I just have a lot of women friends, but Sharice and I were friends from Crozier to Englewood, and then a few other young ladies that I met. Young ladies, I love it. We had a posse FMP.
Oh, this is it. Yes.
Females making progress.
Oh, okay. That's what it means now. Okay. The revised edition. We got the revisionist history. That's what's up.
We revised it because we became mothers. And we stopped, we wasn't twerking, we was Doodle Browning and Daisy Duke. We evolved from that. So if y'all really Inglewoodians, y'all gonna know what F&P means. Mm-hmm. Right?
That's right, Red? Yes, I'm with you. So you spoke about some Daisy Dukes and some music. What was popular musically around that time? What was popular fashion wise? Talk to me about some hairstyles. Like let's test your memory.
Okay, so the bob.
Mm-hmm.
I love the bob, the feather.
Oh,
I remember
yes.
if you were 89, if your feather was on point, you was everything.
Yeah.
I remember, and there was a lot of girls who fell short. They fell short. They just it didn't make the cut. But some of them girls, man, and that's a big part of it, the hair and the dress, like how you said about the fashion.
Mm-hmm.
The clothes we wore. I just remember colorful stuff. Damage.
Mm-hmm.
In my earlier years was a Fila, Elise, tennis skirts.
Yeah.
I love the tennis skirts.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I was, oh my God, with a tennis skirt and the shoes to match. Walking to the Inglewood swap meet. Why did we get dressed up to go to the swap meet?
Oh, it was
I'm
wild.
still trying to.
Hey, Inglewood swap meet was like official. Somehow it wasn't a problem that those was knockoffs in there. It was a destination indeed.
It was a destination indeed. You're absolutely right. But see, you know what? I was spoiled, and I think I had the real stuff.
Oh, wow.
I know I had the real.
Now you just gonna shit on us. This is taking a horrible turn. So okay? So you was winning at life, and what else?
I was winning it. You know what? I was winning. I was super winning. Let me tell you, when I was 16, I had a car. I had a 1989. No, I had a 90 300 ZX in 91. Who does that? Freddie B.
That's right. Your pops is legendary.
But as soon as I got it snatched right up too. I did something I wasn't supposed to do. And let me tell you how he clowned me. He let Sharice drive me in the car. He was like, you can't drive because you lost your license. But guess what? I'm going to let Sharice drive. That was my dog, so it didn't matter. We were still getting to the party. I just wasn't driving. It was like, ooh, back then. I didn't even know it. See? But yeah, the FMP, and that's still my crew. Another public service announcement. We're about to start a scholarship fund.
Wow!
And we've been talking about that, so we're looking forward to that, which will be exciting. Something that we can do to give back, and we're working the kinks of that out. But myself, Sharice, Shauna, Robin, Jamiza, Shanora. I'm looking at our infamous F&P picture. And Celinda. Cannot forget Celinda.
Yeah.
Do you remember Celinda?
Yeah, indeed. I went to Highland with her, yeah.
Oh, see, you go back further than I do with Celinda. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the F&P.
She was always dope too. Like even back then, she was the one that knew how to do cursive and she was already winning. It was like, wow.
So what's funny that you said that about cursive? You know, she went into education.
Wow, there you have it.
That's exactly.
And she had if I remember correctly, her mother used to come to the school similar to your father was always at the school. She had that same type of support system.
She did. Mm-hmm. She really did. She did. And then she turned out to be one of the best mothers that I know to date.
Wow, that's
she
beautiful.
had a child when we were in high school. Didn't miss a beat, and they have a beautiful relationship. She's an awesome mom. Yeah,
so what type
it can be done.
Going back to the just trying to get the texture of that era? What music and dances do you remember, and were you heavy on that?
Let me see. So music for me, it was always the fast, upbeat. Everything I remember went back to Luke. Everything I remember, of course. Let me tell you this. My soundtrack for life still to this day is Boys in the Hood.
Nice. How
to Survive in South Central. West Coast, big West Coast fan. But I couldn't doodle Brown to that. cute. I love you, but I'm trying to shake my ass. And I can't do it to How to Survive in South Central.
Yeah, this is true.
So it was the Luke, it was I don't know, it was the Tootsie Roll type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm following you.
I don't remember all of them, but
what did we call Hoochies back then? What was Hoochies?
Oh,
I'm just trying to.
You just jump right in.
No, I'm just trying to make a link here, right? Because right now,
okay.
Okay.
So let me see. Oh, didn't they had a song, a Hoochie Mama song, right?
Oh, okay, so it goes back to that era. Okay.
Okay. So Hoochie Mama, you ain't nothing but a Hoochie Mama.
I remember
Hood rat, Hoochie Mama. So see, it was Hood rat, Hoochie, Thought.
That's one of the worst things to call somebody. It's a hood rat. Like, I don't know who invented that. That's a terrible description.
Okay, it's a terrible description. But if you're in your neighborhood, right,
mm-hmm.
and there's a young lady that's sticking around,
mm-hmm.
or she's sleeping around with everybody from your hood, I guess the only thing is she wasn't telling. Maybe I don't know where the rat part came
that's
from.
That's what I'm saying. And that's a generous woman. If she's hanging out in the neighborhood and she's servicing the home, that's a generous woman. That's not a negative thing, you know.
Maybe she could have been a hood cat. Get it?
Yes, I got you.
I just came up with a new name. See, right. I don't know, but Hoochie. But you know what? As much as if it had a negative narrative to it,
mm-hmm.
when we said it, it was like a term of endearment. Like, I call my friends bitches all day long. Love them to death.
Mm-hmm.
They've never gotten mad, wanted to fight me. But we say Hoochie still to this day. Oh my God, look at that. That's so Hoochie. And Hoochie to me is an extension of like ghetto.
Mm.
So if I see a couple today and they alike and they got on their Fila outfits and he got a curl, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, I love him. He's so Hoochie. And I'm saying it because he still got a Jerry curl and it's 2019. But I love it. That's us.
I follow you.
That's a part of us. So Hoochie to me isn't as bad as the rat. Yes.
Yeah.
But it one of those words that can go either way. So I think it depends on how you use it. Right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I brought it up because when you were speaking about Uncle Luke and that whole booty shake era, I just didn't remember what we called that era. Like, 'cause I don't think it was a negative. It just was.
No, I don't think it was a negative either.
I mean, I enjoyed it obviously, but I'm just saying. Like,
I'm sure you did.
And that tennis the tennis skirt era was something else. I don't know why y'all was wearing those short skirts, but it was much appreciated. As was the bicycle short. Remember the bike shorts back in the day?
So that bike shorts and airbrush crozier all day. I remember getting airbrush sweatshirts, and I don't think they had any meaning to them. I think so I remember going into the 9th grade year, the only nickname, and I just shared this with my friends, that I wanted a nickname. I never had a nickname.
Wow.
And I put Flavor on the back. Keita still to this day calls me Flavor. And Squeak's brother, John Tay, calls me Flavor. Those are the only two. It's stuck with two people.
Never caught on. That's tough.
Never caught on. It's cool. I love Ava though. But I remember getting Flavor in airbrush, and I wore it on the back of a sweatshirt. But I remember getting airbrush T-shirts, tank tops, and I remember wearing biker shorts.
Yeah, we was like living hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That was a very creative era. Yeah,
it was a very creative. And then you talked about the hairstyles. DeAndre, remember DeAndre Steptoe?
Yeah.
And you both of you guys had those haircuts that I'll never forget. Like, you guys are like, in my mind, when I think of growing up, haircuts and different hairstyles and gumbies and lines and stuff, I think about you too. But I remember him having lines, and I remember shaving the side of my head.
Wow.
Not me personally, but the, beauty salon. I got my hair shaved and I put some lines in. You couldn't tell me nothing. Couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I was real cute with them big ass glasses on, but I had on Cazelles and they was real. So check the resume. My daddy was like, if this baby girl got to wear these gazelles, if she got to wear these big ass bifocals, my mom and dad made sure I stayed fresh. They made sure I stayed fresh. My mother was like, I'm going to take her down here to this, went to Ladera Center to the optometrist, and I had some gazelles. Don't laugh at me.
Oh my gosh, that is too funny. That's what's up. I'm glad your parents invested in you that way. That's what's up.
They was like, this poor baby can't see. We're going to make sure she got some fly frames. And that was it. And I love it.
Oh, man. Damn. That is rough. Okay. Oh, man. So what do you remember about, like school events, like major school events? Because one that stands out to me was that school riot situation, and it's actually footage floating around of you trying to keep that keep the gym in. You was trying to keep peace.
I was trying to keep the peace. You know why I was trying to keep the peace?
What's up?
That was like that was it. That was our last rally.
Oh, that's the first one? Because somebody told me it happened in 89, too. They said the first one was in 89 when they had this issue between...
No, I meant our last rally, meaning like our senior year. Like, that was my last time getting on the mic. So y'all gonna cut up like this? I had some shit up my sleeve. I thought I was the queen of comedy. I don't even remember what I was gonna say that day. But if y'all have a riot, then that takes away from my
this
rally.
Is true. That definitely disrupted your, yeah.
So I remember the first riot, I was definitely, I don't remember if I was, I thought I was a sophomore. And I remember that some Hispanics walked out of our Black History program. And then we, in turn, did it to a celebration or assembly of theirs. And of course, you know, because word travels fast, it was a sign of disrespect. And one of the riots took off. And it was bad because it was racial.
Yeah, that's still crazy. I can't believe it.
It was split. And I just remember people really like running and hopping fences, and people really was getting fucked up, like stomped out. I mean, of course, nothing happened to me, you know, and I mean, I was good, but I do remember that kind of stuff happening.
Yeah, I was good too. I kind of remember it wasn't like you could have participated if you wanted to. It kind of had that option, which was strange to me. And I don't know if that was just an option afforded to me, but I don't remember having to like defend myself. I know that not to walk that way home because the I-13s was across the street. So I probably walked a long way home. But other than that, you know, it seemed like it was exaggerated in a lot of ways.
I think so. And you know what's funny? Just being a female, I was just having this conversation with one of my girlfriends talking about how Squeak's experience for just being a Black male in Englewood and LA, the things that I could do that he couldn't, and we share stories and say, hey, I didn't go over there, or I wasn't going over there, or I did this and I lived this way, like you said about the I-13s, and about just from Centinela, some of them dudes that I grew up with, we were kids together, and then they ended up being like big time in the I-13. Still see them to this day. Hey, Ava, you know. But I'm like, man, these dudes really probably laid some people out. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
I was just like, this is just so crazy, just our gang culture.
So you weren't impacted by that, like as a young person? What was your experience of that? Because obviously you were exposed, but
I was definitely exposed, and so mine was Centinela Park or the Brims, and still to this day, Little Sis. And I think my dad being so active just in our community and out in the front yard and talking to the older homeboys or the OGs now, they looked out for me.
Wow.
And my sister, and Trayvon, and Vita.
Hey, Trayvon, I remember her.
Yeah, You remember Trayvon?
Yeah, I was just saying, you brought up a name I recognize.
Yeah, that's funny. No, but I just think that they just kind of just protected us. Nothing much to protect us from, but it was like you didn't have to worry about anything. Nobody couldn't say anything to you because if they did, you could go and say, hey, this dude, whoop-de-whoop, said this about me. And then they might go rough him up or look at him sideways or, I don't know, throw up a gang sign and he would cross the street or whatever, the situation was. But I knew it was there. I knew it existed. And my own personal experience was, I guess, probably right out of high school and still not even like families or the mafia, but it was the mobsters. Was dating the mobsters, and the mobsters was big and a gang of them, gang banging, if you say it. I always looked at them like a posse, like
that was like prepsters, like the prep.
Exactly,
Yeah.
But they was fighting and
I've heard
stomping people out, and I was like, whoa, So we at the movies thinking we on triple and quadruple dates, and you look up and they done socked 3 dudes out. Wow. And then now everybody's fighting in the marina, that kind of stuff. So that was as close as I came to it.
So Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood and all that doesn't depict the Englewood you grew up in?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
And I think it's just a female lens. Now, I got some female homegirls that gangbang. Mm-hmm. That was probably their thing. But I saw it, but it was far removed to me, It wasn't a, gunshot every night, helicopters every night. I knew we were Bloods in Englewood, and I knew they were Crips in LA. But when you think about where I live, you literally walk 2 minutes to the north, and that was the 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I just didn't have that experience that you guys, like black men, like, when I think about it now, I just be like, wow, like to have this conversation with you is so precious because there's so many black men not here now because of the culture we grew up in.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to speak about. Do you remember anybody in our class getting killed or dying while we were in school?
So, Tremond, I remember, and this was another big thing that happened. It was connected to us in school. There was something going on. He was from Lobster. He got killed on La Cienega. The guys or whomever shot into a car. That was my first experience of dealing with it so close because I knew him.
Yeah.
Saw him all the time. And he wasn't our age. He was definitely younger than us, but that was my first experience, and it was really, really hard to deal with, when you got the information about, like, how he was killed. And I still, to this day, don't know guns like that, but they're like, it was a gauge or it blew his brains out, and it was that kind of stuff. Like, that's deep.
Yeah.
And to think it happened to somebody that you knew or was just hanging out with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize how strange that was until I talked to other people that had different upbringings, and they don't even have a dead friend, period. Like, let alone dying to violence. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Talk to some people, they never even had a fight. And they're like, whoa, like, you made it through through high school without even a fight? So, yeah, that's a peculiar circumstance.
And so the older I got, the more it happened.
Of course.
and I can name people, you know, and the one that a memory just popped up on Facebook, and it was about the 3 guys who got killed sitting in the car on Market Street.
Yeah,
I went to all 3 funerals.
Wow.
They were older than me, and that was hard. Still, just that memory coming up, it brought so many things back. And neither one of those guys gang banged, you know, and it was just like they just literally got caught up or caught in the crossfire of what I'm sure was intended for somebody else. And so to bury 3 people in a week, that was deep. And I went to all 3 funerals. That was deep, real deep. Still to this day, when that memory popped up, just looking at all the comments and thinking about that, they had put it up on the marquee, you know, and basically was telling me it was a rest in peace with all 3 names. And I never remember seeing the thing, but as soon as I saw it, it brought that back. And I was like, wow, this is deep. So yeah, I know a lot of people now that have died from gang violence. And, you know, besides those 3, they were gang banging. This is what they did, you know? And so it was a part of the lifestyle.
And that's what made the LA riot situation so beautiful to me. I know people lost their lives in that too, and there's obviously property damage, but the feeling amongst those that were gangbangers, they felt different to me. You know what I'm saying? They felt like they had a purpose, you know what I'm saying, in those few weeks, you know what I mean? It was like it was amazing. What was your experience in regards to the LA riots? Did you just stay indoors, or were you one of the
I stayed indoors.
Okay. The revised edition. Go ahead, let's hear it.
I'm serious. Let me tell you, I never knew what looting was until that week. I never even heard that word, loot. I had never heard that word. I didn't even know what it meant. And so I had a homegirl who lived in the jungle, and she told me about all the stuff they got. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, it was pretty special.
I was blown away. Like, I met her in 93, and she still has stuff, brand new stuff. It's like 95. Like, they cleaned up that whole La Brea rodeo area, whatever was over there, like a Foot Locker or some other store. Anyway, they came up. But the guy that I was dating was older, and I laughed to this day because I don't know what street he was looting on, but he had like a case of engine oil. What is that going to do for me? I'm sure my pops bought it from him and, you know, he used it. I don't know. But my dad
everybody else is bringing back computers and whatnot. This guy bring back some motor oil.
motor. I said engine, motor oil. He has what I don't know. I don't even know what gonna do. I don't even know what he was doing with that. But
he must have had a late start. All the good stuff was gone.
I think so. It was like somebody sat it down and then he grabbed it, you know.
He didn't want to come back empty-handed. He
didn't want to come back with nothing.
Look what I got, baby.
At the end of the day, he could say, looted. He did loot, right?
Yeah, this is true, yeah.
He just got motor oil. But my dad wouldn't let us leave. It was our senior picnic, you know, Pander, Joey Zuma.
Yeah.
Zuma 1. That's what I call him. That spoke about it when he talked to you, but it was our prom weekend? Whatever it was supposed to have a picnic. I think it was our senior class picnic, and my dad ended up getting on the grill and words fed like it does, and it's probably like 75 to 100 kids in my backyard.
No, Joey takes full responsibility for that function, actually.
You know what, Joey? I'm gonna give him that. I'm gonna give Joey that. Okay. But we did it at my house. We did it in my backyard. I remember. And so whatever they were bringing to the park that day, they brought it to the house.
Nice.
And it was funny because I couldn't leave, but the party came to us, which ended up being awesome. You know.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
We had a lot of pictures, and I'm sure there's video footage of that. Now you're going to have me digging through the crates.
Yeah, please do.
But,
it's necessary.
I will. We hung out there, danced, laughed, ate, probably cried, you know.
Of course.
All those emotions, because our city is up in smoke, literally. Everything around us, you know. And people they probably left to go loot, but they came back and had a rib. I don't remember. I just know I couldn't leave. My dad was not having it.
I got one more question about these Inglewood school years. Mm-hmm. What happened with that teacher scandal with the was it the prom money? Was it like some graduation money? Remember some teacher got caught up with stealing the money? Mr. Clark. You don't remember that Mr. Clark scandal?
I don't. And
you don't remember that?
Listen, I don't remember that. And in all of my experience with Inglewood, the closeness that people had to him, I knew him, and I'm sure I spoke, hey, Mr. Clark, like you would in any school setting. But I never had that experience. People had his class. I never had his class. I heard people were going to his house. I never went to his house.
That's
I
strange.
didn't know him, and I didn't know that he stole our money. Ain't this something?
No, he was accused of stealing. I don't know. I thought I was going to get some clarification from the school committee.
No, I tell you, you can't get it from me. I tell you who, Tanisha Taylor. I'm going to have you talk to her. Tanisha Taylor and Mr. Clark were cool. She able to shed some light on that. What did Joey say? Because I don't even remember this. This is news to me. I'm like, I need to get some paperwork. I'm going back. I'm going to do it Monday because I need to know. I don't remember anything like that.
Oh, man.
And it was our class?
It was our class, and the people rallied behind him. It was literally a rally. People walked out of school for this guy because they said he was falsely accused.
I remember that, but I always thought he was accused of doing something else.
Oh, ooh, easy. Yeah, I don't know. What'd you hear? Like something criminal? I mean, something more criminal than stealing our prom money? And
Lord, please forgive me because I am known to lie. But when I lie, I don't lie just to make myself look good. Like, I really think that's what happened. But I thought he was had messed with a couple of young girls.
Oh, okay. That sounds consistent to what you're saying. Yeah.
And please forgive me if this is not true, but I thought that he was too friendly and that he had not done anything, but I thought he got too close to some young girls. And I think it had, threw up a few red flags.
Yeah, and why was we rallying for that clown if that was the charge? Well, we had to get our principles in order. What's really going on?
Right. It's like, come on, y'all. What are we... But like I said, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll get to that. Did you want to add anything else regarding this particular segment of your life? Anything you think we missed? What I remember? I remember I went to after prom when I was in the 11th grade. And I just remember that being a lot of fun. Like, prom is bunk. And even to this day, I say, people spend all that money for prom. Prom was bunk. But it was just being with my friends, laughing and having fun and talking about our dates. And Shauna, I got to say this, Cole and that big ass bow tie he had on. I'm going to put some pictures for you. You'll have a visual to what I'm talking about. But I was laughing, telling somebody, I was like, we kicked off the prom party thing. Mom's threw a little prom party for us. And I don't think a champagne party back then because we didn't know, But we had some food and a cake and everybody came and took pictures and Alpha was popping like it always was. Alpha, there was never adult woman on Alpha. I've heard this bias from a couple of you residents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joey, he wanted to live on our block. You and Rich damn near stayed on our block. And T-Bop. Y'all always was on Alpha. But there were some good times. Good times. I had a lot of good times, a lot of good memories to share with my kids, and I have to remind them how popular their mom was.
Yeah, this is true.
It's cool though. But no, I had a good high school experience. Now you got me going to do some homework when we hang up. I got to figure this one out about Mr. Clark. I don't know. You know what I remember? What we didn't touch on? Mr. Freeman. Mr. Freeman, crazy ass Mr. Freeman. Do you remember Mr. Freeman,
oh, yeah.
the principal?
Yes, Joe Clark. He was actually our Joe Clark.
He was our Joe Clark, right?
That was
Living Color.
Super crazy.
That was. I remember the security guards. Why do I remember the security guards? I feel like our high school experience was like everybody was like an extension of your family. Like it was really, truly a village then.
Wow.
Like. People cared.
What cops do you remember? I remember Super Cop when we first got there. I think that was his last
I remember
year.
Super Cop. I remember Ben. Ben was a school police for Englewood Unified. He just recently passed away. Rest in peace, Ben. I heard he had cancer. But I remember Blondie. Remember Blondie?
Yeah, Crozier. Yeah.
Miss Jones. I remember Miss Jones.
Was that George, Blondie's sidekick at Crozier? That's really going back. I can't confirm.
Yes.
George.
Was he short?
Yes, he was.
Okay, stop. Because it's been killing me for years because I didn't know why I knew this man. I see him all the time, and I would see him at the townhouse, and he knew me. He was very familiar. He would always speak. He was real friendly. That was the damn security guard. From the damn Crozier. Now, I would see him at the townhouse. Ain't that something?
And then Cecil. Cecil is another one.
Cecil, one of my favorites. Him and my dad got real close. So when I ditched, he would say, I'm going to call your dad. And I'd be like, whatever, Cecil. He would call my dad, but I didn't care. I didn't listen to Cecil or my dad. But, hey, it was what it was. But fun times, man.
It was a major difference when Freeman got fired or left or whatever happened to him. Like the school, like he actually was keeping the school in check.
He was. Him and his right hand man Brownlee.
Oh, I kind of remember No Neck. Yeah, I kind of remember him.
Yep. He did. He really did. And so my favorite principal, because he was there for the remainder of my years, was Mr. Crowe.
I kind of remember him. Yeah, he was way smooth.
I was just gonna say he was the coolest cat. Cool,
I think his son
cool.
was trash though, and kind of benefiting from his pops being principal. I just that's a loose memory. I can't confirm that, but
I can't say it, dude. That was Wendy's boo.
Oh, okay. Good, thanks.
That was Wendy's boo. But he played basketball with that next elite group, you know. So we was right in the middle of the ballers.
That's right.
I
What's that?
Oh God.
What's up?
So I love Romalis. He gonna kill me for this one, but I don't care. Romalis and Rob and Thomas. Rob Dixon, Romalis Wilmore, and Thomas Hyatt. I'm not sure what happened with the basketball uniforms, but my dudes got did real wrong, and they had some real tight basketball shorts on. I remember that, and I still clown all of them about that. So that we gonna end on that note. So they go. Hey, I love my dude Romalis. That's my partner. I always clown him about that.
They came out the 1970s cut. Damn.
It was so foul. I don't know if somebody like the year before stole all the uniforms, but why did none of their uniforms fit? I'm still wondering. I'm like, come on now, where's the money? Y'all can't buy a new set of uniforms. We had a lot of PTA meetings and fundraisers. This is foul, man. They were all back to the 70s with the uniforms. Yes, sir.